Imagine this. You're standing in front of her, not even close enough to touch. No physical contact, no words spoken, just your raw presence. And yet you feel it. She's subtly leaning in, her eyes lingering on your face just a beat too long. She adjusts her hair, shifts her weight, her breathing deepens. Something in her is being irresistibly pulled toward you, and she doesn't even know why. That's not coincidence, brother. That's not luck. That is power. The raw, undeniable power of masculine sexual tension. It's an energy that doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to perform. It commands, it pulls, it seduces without ever laying a single finger on her. Most men mistakenly believe seduction begins with what they say or what physical move they make. They picture the perfect opening line, a clever remark, or that just right moment to touch her hand. But the profound truth is, seduction begins long before any of that. It starts within you, in your energy, in your internal world. Neil Strauss in The Game made it crystal clear, the true seducer doesn't chase, he magnetizes. And one of the most potent magnets isn't your hand nor your words. It's the energy you radiate without touching her at all. His mentor called it mystery. Others have labeled it building tension, creating a vacuum, or simply being a high-value presence. But let's dissect this. Let's go even deeper. Desire is not created by touching her. It's created by what you withhold. Think about that for a moment. What you withhold. Most guys are in a frantic rush, a rush to make a move, to escalate, to get physical. And that, my friend, absolutely kills the suspense. It's like skipping straight to the last page of a thrilling novel. You obliterate the mystery. And women, they live for the mystery. They crave to feel their own desire grow slowly, organically. They want that rising tension, that breathless anticipation, that delicious uncertainty that makes every glance, every silence feel utterly electric. And here's a truth very few men truly grasp. The longer you can build that tension without breaking it, the exponentially stronger the attraction becomes. A touch is a release, but before the release comes, the build-up. And it's precisely in that build-up where her deepest desire is forged. Now let's talk practical, because this isn't some vague spiritual concept, this is a skill. And like all skills, it can be trained, honed, and mastered. The first key? Eye contact. And I'm not talking about fleeting, casual glances. I mean deep, unapologetic, anchored eye contact. The kind that doesn't flinch, the kind that holds space. When you lock eyes with a woman and you don't look away, you're communicating something primal without uttering a single word. You're saying, I see you. I'm not afraid of your beauty. I'm not desperate to impress you. I'm right here, fully present, and I want you to feel me. But it doesn't stop there. What truly matters is how you look at her. If you're needy, if you're searching for validation, if you're secretly praying she smiles back, you've already lost. That's not seductive. That's approval-seeking, and she can smell it. Real, truly seductive eye contact stems from a place of unshakable inner certainty, a calm masculine presence that silently declares, I don't need anything from you, but if you come closer, you'll feel something you've never felt before. Hold that gaze not with aggressive intensity, but with profound depth, with stillness, with curiosity. Let your eyes whisper, I know something you don't. That, my friend, is where the heat truly begins to rise. Now, combine that with the second ingredient, voice control. Even if you're not saying much, the tone, the cadence of your voice matters immensely. Lower your tone, slow your pace, don't rush your words. Women are far more exquisitely sensitive to vocal tonality than men. A slow, grounded, deeply masculine voice speaks directly to her unconscious mind. It tells her you are confident, in control, and utterly present. Remember this, presence is arousal. When you are fully present with a woman, when your attention isn't scattered, when you're not overthinking, when you're not desperately trying to impress, she feels it, and it draws her in like a powerful current. Think of a man like James Bond. He doesn't talk fast, he doesn't fidget, he doesn't frantically try to fill every silence. He owns the silence. He is composed, intentional, and in that profound stillness, women project their wildest fantasies onto him. They start wondering what you're thinking, trying to decode your vibe. That's precisely how desire builds, not in her body but in her mind. Because here's the profound secret. Women are not aroused the way men are. We are visual, immediate, stimulus-driven. But women are narrative creatures. They need a story. They want to imagine. So when you don't touch her, when you simply look, pause, and speak with deliberate intention, you give her the priceless gift of fantasy. And that, my friend, is 10 times more powerful than impulsively jumping into physical escalation too soon. But let's go even deeper. There's a concept known as sexual containment. David Dada, author of The Way of the Superior Man, speaks eloquently about this. He explains that a man who can fully feel his sexual energy, who can sense his deep desire but doesn't need to act on it right away, is profoundly magnetic to women. Why? Because it demonstrates immense power, self-control, and depth. Imagine this. You're sitting across from her. You feel the pull, you feel the desire surging within you. But instead of reaching out, instead of making your move, you simply sit with it. You breathe. You let her feel that you're turned on, undeniably, powerfully. But you don't break, you don't chase, you don't react. That creates an electric, erotic charge, a palpable suspense. And that suspense is precisely what drives her absolutely crazy. Because now she's not just attracted, she's profoundly curious. She starts wondering, what's he waiting for? Why isn't he trying anything? Why does he look at me like that and do nothing? That, gentlemen, is the razor's edge where true seduction lives. And most men never get there because they move too fast. They can't hold the tension, they can't sit in the fire. But you, if you master this, you become unforgettable. Let's break this down even more tactically. When you're talking to her, use pauses. Don't feel compelled to fill every single space. A truly confident man is not afraid of silence. In fact, silence becomes your most potent weapon. It forces her to lean in, to wait, to anticipate. When you do speak, let your words land. Don't chase her reaction. Don't look for approval. Make statements, not questions, not rambling thoughts, but confident, grounded, crystal clear statements. And when you're physically near her, use proximity sparingly. Don't invade her space, get close and then pull back. Let her feel that subtle shift. Let her notice that you are in control, not just of the space around you, but of yourself. It's called push-pull. Give her something, then subtly take it away. Give her your presence, then look away. Let her miss your gaze. Let her feel that slight, intriguing loss. That's how you activate her pursuit. That's how you fundamentally flip the dynamic. Remember, you are not trying to seduce her body. You are seducing her imagination. And once you enter that sacred territory, once she starts playing out scenarios in her mind, once she begins to wonder what it would truly be like to be touched by you, then physical touching becomes almost unnecessary because she's already fantasizing. She's already feeling. And that, my friend, is the undeniable mark of a true seducer. There's a moment, subtle, almost imperceptible, when a woman starts to feel something she can't quite name. It doesn't come from your touch. It doesn't come from your words. It comes from how you are, the way you walk into a room, the way you occupy space, the way you withhold attention, not out of arrogance, but out of deliberate intent. Most men profoundly misunderstand this. They believe creating desire is about constantly showering her with interest, complimenting her endlessly, laughing at all her jokes, giving her 100% of their attention like a golden retriever desperate for approval. But the truth is, that floods her system. It overwhelms. It flattens the entire mystery. If she feels like she already has you, there's nothing left to desire, nothing to earn, nothing to wonder about. The key is to create gaps. Gaps in certainty, gaps in attention, gaps in emotional availability. This isn't about playing games. It's about creating sacred space for her attraction to organically grow. Robert Greene, in The Art of Seduction, calls this the law of absence. He explains that strategic absence inflames desire, that people long most intensely for what they don't fully possess. Seduction isn't about filling her up, it's about leaving her wanting more. So, how does that manifest in practice? You're with her, and you are fully present, but not always predictable. You're engaged, but you're not emotionally naked. You give, but you don't spill your entire soul. You offer tantalizing glimpses, just enough to hook her imagination. Let her work a little. Let her earn your layers. That, my friend, is what builds profound fascination. Now here's a powerful technique most men tragically ignore: non-reactivity. Women will test you, consciously or unconsciously. They want to see if you're truly grounded, if you're easily shaken, if your entire energy shifts based on theirs. Let's say she suddenly pulls back, or throws out a playfully teasing comment, or even flirts with someone else right in front of you. An average man reacts. He gets insecure, defensive, tries to prove himself, desperately tries to regain her attention. But the man who understands real seduction? He remains calm, composed, unshakable. Maybe he smiles subtly. Maybe he says nothing at all. Maybe he shifts his attention elsewhere, without resentment, without a flicker of neediness. He doesn't play her game because he doesn't need to. And that gentleman absolutely drives her wild. Why? Because it profoundly demonstrates status. It shows that your sense of self isn't tied to her approval, that you are internally validated, that you are a man who lives firmly in his own reality, and she has to qualify herself to even enter it. This is where the invisible seduction truly takes root. She starts thinking about you when you're not around, wondering what you're doing. Why you didn't chase, why you seemed so utterly unaffected. That kind of mystery is intoxicating because now she's doing the imagining, and in her imagination, anything is possible. That's where her desire resides. It's no longer in your hands, it's burning fiercely in her mind. Another crucial dimension we need to explore is body language. Control your posture, your gestures, your stillness. They all broadcast powerful signals before you ever utter a word. The true seducer doesn't fidget, he doesn't shrink himself. He doesn't nervously twitch when she looks at him. Instead, he is relaxed, upright, broad, slow. His movements are deliberate, intentional. He touches his glass slowly, leans back with an inherent confidence. He maintains an open, expansive frame. When a woman sees a man completely at ease in his own skin, it activates something primal within her. It signals safety, yes, but also a thrilling kind of danger. The kind of danger that makes her pulse quicken, not because he's threatening, but because he's unpredictable. He's composed, yet you can feel a contained fire burning underneath. That controlled intensity is the essence of sexual polarity. Because let's be real, seduction isn't just about charm, it's about contrast. Masculine energy is directional, focused, penetrating. Feminine energy is expressive, fluid, receptive. When you ground yourself deeply in your masculine core, calm, firm, unshakable, it naturally pulls her into her feminine essence. She softens, she surrenders, and she begins to feel safe, desiring you. Not because you said the perfect words, not because you touched her, but because your energy gave her the unspoken permission to open. Let's take this even further. There's something most men tragically overlook: energetic tension. When you are truly connected to your own sexuality, not in a creepy or performative way, but in a grounded, embodied, authentic way, she feels it, even across the room. Your energy speaks before you do. Women are incredibly attuned to it. They can tell if you're needy, anxious, or just pretending. And they can also tell when your sexual energy is contained, potent, and deeply rooted in presence. Here's how you cultivate that: through awareness, through breath, through restraint. When you're with her, instead of trying to jump into action, feel your arousal. And just sit with it. Breathe into it. Relax your body and let that energy build. Don't suppress it, but don't immediately act on it. Just be with it. That creates a powerful, almost tangible magnetic field around you. You don't need to initiate anything because she's picking up the signal. And when your arousal is clean, not desperate, not performative, but deeply centered, she'll start to feel profoundly turned on without even understanding why. That's the edge, gentlemen. That's what makes her think about you later, when she's alone, when she's in bed, when she's scrolling through her phone, wondering why your eyes keep flashing back in her mind. You didn't touch her. You didn't push anything. But your energy left an indelible mark. And now she wants more. That's not manipulation, that's mastery. Mastery of your own presence, mastery of your intention, mastery of tension, and most importantly, it's the mastery of not rushing the moment. Because the most seductive men intuitively know it's not about what you do to her. It's about what she starts to feel in your presence, what you allow her to feel and what you don't force. So, instead of desperately trying to impress her, create space. Instead of touching her body, touch her attention. Instead of chasing validation, stand still and let her come to you. And the moment she does, she won't even realize she made the first move. There's a profound reason why some men walk into a room and women instinctively turn their heads before a single word is spoken, before any interaction even begins. It's not about looks, it's not about money, it's not even about status in the traditional sense. It's about the feeling they carry inside, the powerful aura they project, the silent confidence that whispers, "I don't chase, I attract." This brings us to a critically forgotten element in seduction: emotional self-sufficiency. When a man is emotionally full, when he doesn't need anything from her to feel like a man, that profound independence radiates. It speaks directly to her subconscious. It tells her, "This man is whole. He's not asking me to complete him. He's not trying to fill a void, he's already complete." And that, gentlemen, is incredibly rare. Why does this matter? Because women are drawn to what feels solid, not hard or rigid, but deeply grounded. If she senses you're seeking validation, if your value depends entirely on how she responds, you instantly become less desirable. But when she feels that your value is non-negotiable, something profound begins to shift. She starts investing. Her curiosity explodes. She begins scanning you for deeper layers, precisely because you haven't laid everything out for her to consume. And in that powerful curiosity, attraction truly blooms. Another vital dimension to desire without touch is the power of suggestion. A master seducer doesn't say everything. He implies, he hints, he drops tantalizing fragments that activate her imagination and let her mind do the rest. Let's be honest, what happens in her imagination will always be more vivid, more potent than anything you could ever engineer with your hands. That's why mystery crushes over exposure. That's why innuendo triumphs over blunt explanation. So the next time you're talking to her, instead of explicitly telling her what you want to do, describe something that stirs her mind. A scenario, a memory, a metaphor that's sensual yet deliciously ambiguous. Say something like, "There's something about the silence between two people that makes everything else scream." Or, "I like when things unfold naturally, when no one rushes, but there's an undeniable tension simmering underneath." You're not describing an act, you're describing a feeling. And the exquisite beauty of that. Her mind fills in the blanks, and what she imagines will always be more perfectly tailored to her desires than anything you could ever orchestrate. That's seduction through mental stimulation, and it's far more powerful than most men ever truly realize. Now let's talk about the timing of energy. You see, women have intricate emotional rhythms. If you're too available, too early, you create saturation. You burn out the mystery. But if you're always distant, you create frustration or disinterest. The profound secret is to oscillate. Give her a moment of intense closeness, a brief, potent connection, then pull back. Let her sit with it. Let her hunger grow. Then return, re-engage. Give another small, potent dose of depth, and step away again. This rhythm precisely mimics the natural push and pull of desire. It mirrors the way tension rises in stories, in music, in life itself. And when done right, it creates a powerful kind of emotional addiction, because now she starts to crave the next wave of your presence. She doesn't even realize she's subtly waiting for your energy to return. That's how you get into her system, not through constant exhaustive effort, but through calculated, precise impact. Quality over quantity, precision over volume. And this isn't about playing manipulative games, it's about leading the dance. Now let's dive into an often overlooked yet profoundly powerful layer, your internal erotic world. Most men outsource desire. They rely on visual stimulation, external triggers like porn, or fantasies that are all reactionary. But the truly seductive man possesses a rich, vibrant, internal erotic landscape. He doesn't wait for arousal, he cultivates it. He knows how to feel deeply turned on without immediately acting it out. He can sit in that desire, breathe through it, let it charge him without rushing to release it. This inner fire becomes a palpable field around him. Women feel it, especially the ones who are emotionally and sexually attuned. They sense that he's deeply connected to his body, his breath, his instincts, and yet he's utterly in control of them. And that, my friend, is insanely attractive. It tells her, this man can hold intensity. He won't fold under pressure. He knows what he wants, but he doesn't need it from me. That level of erotic self-possession is a rare, magnetic quality, and it doesn't require touching her. It just requires being deeply in touch with yourself. And speaking of touch, here's something even more advanced: touch without touching. There's a fascinating phenomenon in psychology called mirror neurons. When someone feels intensely connected to another person, their brain actually begins to simulate the experiences of that other person. This is why when you describe a sensation so vividly, someone listening might actually feel it in their own body. So, if you're able to speak from a place of embodied sensuality, if your words are rich with evocative sensation, if your gaze carries the smoldering heat of unspoken thoughts, her brain starts to simulate being touched. She might get goosebumps, her breath might change, her skin may flush ever so slightly. And you, my friend, haven't even moved an inch. That's the real edge. That's how the deepest seducers operate, not by doing more, but by being more. By channeling an experience that she begins to live from the inside out. And when that happens, the physical body becomes secondary. Her desire is already anchored deeply in her mind, her emotions, her nervous system. She's already yours, and you haven't even touched her. And here's the ultimate truth, brother. You don't need to touch her body to make her crave yours. When you learn to control your presence, when you build tension instead of prematurely releasing it, when you lead with stillness, when you radiate desire without chasing it, it shifts everything. Suddenly, you're not just some guy trying to win her. You're the man she simply cannot stop thinking about. And that's the profound shift. That's the moment you stop being just another man and start becoming an experience, a memory, a presence that lingers in her mind long after the night ends, because in the end, touch fades. But what she imagines when you don't touch her, that stays. So the next time you're in front of a woman, remember this undeniable truth. Your most powerful tool is not your hands. It's your silence, your stillness, your tension, your mystery. Let her feel the fire you've mastered without burning her with it too soon. And if you felt something awaken in you during this video, if something deep inside clicked, if your mind started connecting the dots and your energy shifted even a little, then I want you to take action. Drop a comment below right now. Tell me, what moment hit you the hardest? What insight flipped a switch inside you? I want to hear your story. And more than that, share this with another man who desperately needs to hear it. A brother stuck in the trap of chasing, who doesn't yet know that magnetism always beats motion. Because this channel, my friend, isn't about cheap tricks. It's about profound transformation. If you're ready to stop being forgettable and start becoming truly unforgettable, then like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Because what's coming next will take you even deeper into the kind of power most men will never access. You don't need to touch her to seduce her. You just need to learn how to move her without ever moving, and once you do, she won't want to be anywhere else but in your powerful orbit.